gentlemen, Nick here, and welcome to my review of Sherlock Holmes 2009. The first of the currently two, but there will be a third, Robert Downey Jr. Jude Ward Sherlock Holmes films, the first two of which are directed by Guy Ritchie. New director taking over for the third film, which will be out in December 2021. Damn it, 2 more years to go! Okay, so Sherlock Holmes 2009. There's a lot of Sherlock Holmes films, not just Sherlock Holmes films, but as in films that are just called Sherlock Holmes. So, what differentiates this one from the others? Well, it's a very different type of story, taking inspiration from the Hound of the Baskervilles. It's about Sherlock going up against a man who's using black magic and superstition and dark arts. But in reality, that's what it appears to be. In reality, technology and fear are causing, and scientific stuff are causing people to fear dark magic. The villain, Lord Blackwood, played by Mark Strong, is using the front of black magic and dark arts as a means to cause fear amongst people. After sacrificing 5 girls as part of his plan, well, I say sacrifice / brutally murdering, he is captured when attempting to kill a 6th. A few months later, he is hanged for it because this is a story set in the UK before 1965-66, as that's when execution was banned, and good thing too. And so Blackwood is executed for murdering 5 women and the practice of the dark arts, so we presume, and the attempted murder of the 6th girl. However, Blackwood resurrects himself, comes back from the dead basically a few days later, and basically Sherlock and Watson are on the case to try and find out what's going on, why he's doing this, and how he can come back from the dead, and what's his plan. Not long after this, they find someone who's been working for Blackwood has died, and 2 further people die before Blackwood attempts to launch his big plan. Meanwhile, Irene Adler, remember her from the Scandal in Belgrave? Is it Belgrave or Scandal in Belgrave, yeah, in the Sherlock TV series. But yeah, Irene Adler's back, and apparently she's been a little bit more active since her and Sherlock first met in that first short story that they first met in. Yeah, Irene Adler, played by Rachel McAdams, is here, and she's both causing trouble and helping out. Could you classify Irene Adler as a femme fatale? Possibly. I don't know if I would say she's the original femme fatale, but definitely an early example. But yeah, she's around, she's working for this mysterious person, and she and Sherlock have their feelings for each other, and throughout the film, you don't know whether to trust, or you can't really trust her or not, but she helps out a bit. So, yeah, there's some great chemistry between the two, but an even better chemistry is Robert Downey Jr. and Jude Law's partnership as Sherlock and John. Sherlock Holmes and Dr. John Watson. That is a partnership that rivals Basil Rathbone, and I don't remember his name, but the guy who played Watson in the Rathbone films, and also rivals the Benedict Cumberbatch and Martin Freeman partnership from the Sherlock TV series. I think if people were to rank the best Holmes-Watson partnership duos, I think this one would come very high, the Downey Jr. Law Holmes-Watson relationship. I think it would come very high. It's also nice to have a look at Watson, not always impressed by Sherlock, as well as also having a few of his deductions of his own. And yeah, it feels like the dynamic works really well between the two, and both actors do a brilliant job. Also, Mark Strong is great as the baddie, as the villain. Lord Blackwood, he has such a great presence when he's on screen. You can really feel the darkness of him, as well as the criminal genius that he has. Rounding off the cast is Eddie Marsan as Inspector Lestrade, he's also really great and has some really good lines. Kelly Riley as Mary Morstan, who Sherlock and Watson met in an earlier story, the one before the Iron Adler one, the Sign of Four, and now Sherlock here's just meeting her for the first time. So I guess the adventure with Irene did happen, the original one, but the one with Mary didn't. So the Sign of Four doesn't exist in this universe, or Sherlock's forgotten about it. Yeah, that's a bit confusing. But anyways, Mary's pretty good in this story. I think she's better in the second film, but I think she's pretty good. Similarly, I think Mrs. Hudson, played by Gwendolyn James, I think. I think she's done better in the Sherlock TV series, especially when she starts saying, "I'm not your housekeeper. I'm your landlady." That's a couple great lines in series 3, I think it is, of the TV series. Yeah, I think Mrs. Hudson's okay here in her few appearances. Like I said, I think she's done better in the TV series that followed. And also there's and who's the guy who plays it's the Minister of something. It's basically our second main villain, who he turns up at Blackwood's supposed sacrificing ceremony and runs off, and then we find out he's a member of this cult that Blackwood's father is part of, and an American ambassador, both of which died as part of this plan. And then this guy sort of takes over as Blackwood's number 2 and helps take over Parliament. Anyone who's seen the film, you'll know which character I'm talking about. He has this very dark beard and very dark hair. Looks like he's having a ball of a time. But yeah, he's a pretty effective villain as well, and the actor, like I said, looks like he's having a ball of a time. I also want to quickly mention, shout out to Charlie, the boat person, who's a pretty fun, enjoyable character as well when he's on screen. Okay, characters are done well, and I also like the story. I think it's handled really well. I also like how Holmes does the deductions, though I would like to see some of his deductions take place as he does them. That's something that works really well with Sherlock Holmes' past and present and future. Where at the crime scene, he will make a deduction. He will he'll go through the process, and we don't really get to see that during the scenes when he's finding out clues. When he makes deductions, but we don't really see him calculate that much when he's using clues and stuff. I think that's something that the Sherlock TV series does really well. Sherlock will go through his deductions, he'll go through his clues, and the audiences will be let in by different camera angles and shots and stuff. That's really well done. In this case, they kind of save it for the end, like a proper murder mystery. A typical murder mystery where all the clues are Sherlock just reveals everything at the end, that this is how he solved the case, and even some clues that he saves for a little bit later on afterwards to tell someone else. I just feel like maybe we could have a bit more deduction working out in the scenes where he's looking at clues. That's how I feel. I think the film sort of does. I don't like to say this, but I think it does sort of center more on action and spectacle a bit more than deduction, which is a shame, because that was a great part of Sherlock Holmes. He would make his deductions really well. And it's one of the best things of the 2010 TV series with Benedict Cumberbatch. But sadly here, this is probably the elements they get down the weakest, despite getting the characters down really well. It's because of that, it does focus, and like I said, it focuses on action and spectacle. The action and spectacle looks really great, and it keeps the adventure and adrenaline kicking, but I think there could have been a little bit more time to have a go at trying to solve the mystery at the scene where we find clues, and not just have it revealed at 2 points towards the end. But besides that, I think Sherlock Holmes 2009 is a really great movie with a great story, great characters, great plotting, and a fantastic music score by Hans Zimmer, who creates a theme tune to rival that of David Arnold and Michael Pearce's Sherlock TV theme tune. Some really brilliant music here. So, on the whole, Sherlock Holmes 2009 is a brilliant film. Some pieces of of Sherlock lore don't quite fit into make sense, such as Sherlock and John not remembering Mary from the Sign of Four adventure, and the story does focus more on action and spectacle more than solving the mystery. I mean, the characters are trying to solve a mystery, but the whole Sherlock deduction, working the clues out as he goes along, we don't really see it that much. And then at the end, it just reveals it, which is more of a typical murder mystery or Scooby-Doo-esque mystery, or Scooby-Doo slash animated TV, children's TV series, or even live-action children's TV, because children's TV probably won't dive into murder mysteries that well. So let's say murder mysteries slash children's mysteries. So on the whole, Sherlock Holmes, I think, is a great film, but could have been slightly better, just a little bit more. I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10. Issues are it could have had a bit more deductive working out bits at the clue finding moments. Maybe, I mean, Sherlock does sort of have these visions where we see characters doing stuff, but I think it could have been handled a little bit better in connection to other clues being found earlier or later on in the film. Maybe not so much in the action scenes, but certainly in smaller, quieter moments. But anyway, so Sherlock Holmes 2009, definitely a brilliant film. Definitely recommend you check it out. So that's it from me. Thank you for watching. Next time, I'll be taking a look at the second film in the series, Sherlock Holmes, A Game of Shadows. This time, things are a bit different. And it's a very different type of Sherlock Holmes story than the 2009 film was. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye. Don't forget to click below to subscribe to the official Nicholas Payne Retro YouTube channel. You mean? And oh shit. After attempting to, but yeah, Sherlock and, but yeah, Iron Adler's back, this time played by Rachel, so yeah, Iron Adler's here and causing some trouble. Played by, so yeah, Iron Adler, played by Rachel McAdams, or the, and also rivals of a Benedict. Yeah, the only problems are, could have had a little bit better.